looks like it might be working.
Yay. Okay.
It's loading.
Yay.
So we should be live
We
in a
are.
little bit.
Fantastic. I love it. Cheers to you, Mara, for figuring it out.
You are welcome. Hi, everyone. As usual, we had some issues with Facebook and Zoom, but this time it's like, nope, I'm not going to give up. This time we got it.
All
So here we
right.
are.
Fantastic.
So nice to see you, Elvira.
Oh, so good to see you, Mara. This is so great. Our second one, this time with the right technology. So I'm super excited to
Exactly.
be here. Conversations outside the box. Yeah, and this is going to be really juicy today. I just feel it because when you messaged me, Elvira, do you want to talk about this? I'm like, yes, we need to talk about this. So,
Yes, we do.
yeah. So why don't you get us started, Mara?
Yeah. So I thought about talking about this because although I'm not American and I don't live in America, I felt triggered for like about 2, 3 days straight. Like I
Mm,
couldn't stop thinking about it. And I couldn't stop thinking about how it is possible that in 2022, there are people that, because of their beliefs, they think they can control people and obviously women. And
yeah.
that got me really upset. And I started thinking about, okay, I am upset because obviously it's a very nasty thing and it means a lot of the consequences are huge, like
Yeah.
health wise, economically
Yeah.
wise, for children as well. We all know what it means not to be healed, not to be wanting a child, and how that can affect a child's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so all of those thoughts started to come into my mind. I was like, okay, well, the least I can do, also hearing, reading that the right wing here in Italy has said that
Hmm.
because next year we're going to have the elections of the prime minister, that this is what they're going to be bringing. And I was like, okay, there is something that I possibly can do, and this is talking about it and
Hmm.
try to help anybody that might be feeling triggered right now to
Yeah.
go through this grief and see how we can help one another.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, major chills. Yeah, I totally feel that, Mara. And I love that. We bring different perspectives too, even though we're both Italian born and whatnot. But your situation is, you're single. You're single because that's your choice at this point, and you don't have children. I have one child. He's 27 now. I'm an empty nester, but it's like the idea of anybody trying to tell us what to do and how to be, and control us, like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
that is so inside the box, right? And we want to live outside the box. This is what this show is about. And so how do we do that? How do we do that, right? So this is what I'm all about, is about it's I just got off the show with Lisa Kelly, my other, I'm thinking, are we putting this on YouTube at some point soon?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
yes.
great. So my other YouTube show is, shout out to her, Lisa Kelly. We have the conversations to raise vibrations, and we just talked about this as well today. Is this whole idea that we need to be sovereign beings. We
Mm,
cannot be told what to do and what to believe. We need to believe what is true for us. So religion, is something that we as Italian, most of us Catholics, we're told, by the Pope, this is what you have to do, right? And this is who who you can be, and like, so many nuances of what's happened there. But we I believe we need to do the inner work so we
yeah,
break free of people's expectations, of their decisions for us. We need to live as sovereign beings. and
yeah,
and I believe that when enough of us do this inner work, Mara, that we do get conscious, we do awaken from our slumber of being told what to do and who to be. When we do that, when there's enough of us, it's going to shift things on a planetary
yeah.
level. And
I
you and
agree.
I are actually part of a very powerful group, the group that I was guided to bring together, that we're helping to raise the vibration on the planet, raise the consciousness to help the planet heal and evolve by helping the top 1% heal and evolve. Because when they get it, the rest of us are going to get it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
do you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
resonate with these words?
Yeah, I do. And I think that, what I think that, inner work, it's the most important things, because those kind of things will always happen to us. Like, there's always going to be some politician creating a law that is against freedom. There is always going to be someone in your life that is going to try to control you somehow.
Yeah.
And we need to get to a point where, yes, we might be triggered, but that trigger is more about, okay, let me do something about this. Let me
Yes.
try to use this to raise my voice, rather
Yes.
than, oh my God, this is triggering me so much. So I'm going to shut down. I'm going
Yeah.
to close my
Yeah.
door, and I'm going to, get into that box and stay put. Instead, I think
Yeah, so
that
heavy.
we need to use this, especially now. We're not like 50 years ago where nobody knew. Now everybody knows, everybody can speak out, everybody can just say, okay, no, I'm not up for this.
No,
I
no,
want
no.
different.
Not available for this. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
exactly. And
And
I
we have
think
to
this
own
is
that.
what we need to do. Yeah. And
Yeah.
this is what we need to do. And we need to do it more. And we need to share whatever is going on and how we can improve and move on. From our
Yeah.
point of view, it really is, okay, how have I been triggered here? Is
Hmm.
that a good way of being triggered? Like, can I step up and do something about it
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
myself and others?
Yeah.
Or have I been triggered some way that is putting me into a dark place? And then that is, again, is your information to understand that there is something within you that needs healing.
Yeah. Oh, I got chills. Yeah, that's so beautifully said, Mara. Yeah. I mean, when triggers happen, it's an opportunity for growth. So
Yeah.
you can either choose to grow from it, or you can choose to stay small and stuck and go into a victim like mode where everything is happening outside of me and no one is taking responsibility for themselves, right? Like, this is how I talk
Right.
about it. When you're blaming people and making them, bad and wrong, and you're in victim mode, and you've got six fingers pointing back at you, and you need to do the inner work so that you're no longer a victim. And that's what my work is about. And I know you're doing it in your own way as well. Correct,
Yeah.
Marla?
Yeah, yeah,
Mara?
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can call me Marilyn.
Marla is a more common name, but I gotta remember it's Mara. Mara. By the way, does your name mean the ocean? Mare? Mara?
Oh, no.
No,
Well,
okay.
if you look at the Jewish thing, it means
Okay.
sad person, because Mary Magdalene gave herself this name after her husband passed away. But if you
Oh,
talk to
okay.
the Brazilian, I am the queen of the ocean. So I'm like, yes, I'm the queen of
Ah,
the ocean.
you definitely are. You're definitely a queen. You have queen energy all over you. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Uh,
Oh,
but yes, I do the exact same. And this is why I was triggered, because I was like, I am here to help people to free themselves from this shit. And this shit keeps coming back. And I, today, for example, on my Facebook, I shared a work of one of the girls that I met through my podcast in 2020. And she's been evolving, and now she's doing like naked pictures and getting women to get in tune with
Mm.
her body and nature, because she's a natural her Chinese medicine physician.
Oh, okay. TCM. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
so she's combining the healing power of nature with the rediscovery and acceptance of your body as a woman
That's
naked,
beautiful.
in order
Yeah.
to release
Yeah.
shame and
Oh,
guilt and all of that. And I
that's
and I felt
beautiful.
called to share, because it's like, okay, well, this is what we need to do. We need to get together and rise up together,
Mm,
and do this kind of work. And
yeah.
for me, it was just like a trigger, because it's like, again, oh my God, those limitations are coming again and again. Okay, right, let's do something. I've done
Yeah.
so much work, and you mentioned religion.
Mm,
I was born in this country.
yeah.
My grandfather used
Same.
to work in the church after he retired. So my mom's side is all about the church and all of that.
Mm,
Although luckily my mom was never someone too pushy about it, and
mm,
I left the church as
yeah.
soon as I could. But that mindset where you need to sacrifice yourself as a woman,
Hmm.
and abide the rules that don't make any sense, and the guilt has been part of, I never felt
Mm,
really guilty about stuff, but that mindset and that thought process has
Hmm.
always been there, and it's been a journey to release myself and start thinking I can freaking shine bright
Mm.
and be different.
Yeah,
Because
I
you
love
mentioned
that.
you're married and you have a son, right?
Yes,
um
one son. Yeah.
I don't want kids, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
don't.
That's great. Childless, like, but by choice. Yeah. That's
I
fantastic.
I don't, but to have this conversation with my mom
Mm.
where she would look at me like, but this is not what women are. I'm like, oh no, no, this is what women are. No, but this is a waste. Like, you're supposed to. I'm like, I'm supposed to do nothing. But that pushback,
Yeah.
and me pushing back and being like, no. And I think we get used to this being put in the box because family keeps trying to put us in the
Yeah.
box, which
Yeah.
in whichever way. It's for your, oh, but I want you to be happy as long as you do this,
Yeah.
as
It's so
long as,
codependent.
right?
It's so codependent. Yeah. Yeah.
And we all fall in that trap of being the good girl, of not wanting to disappoint, but then
Hmm.
not being ourselves,
Yeah. Yeah.
not
That was
not
me. That was me
shining,
for most of my
right?
life. Yeah. Yeah. You got it much sooner than I did, Mara. You inspire me so much, and you were able to just be the rebel and say, "No, this is who I am and this is what I want." And like to hell with the rest. And you're going up against generational trauma, right? Because we as Italian women raised in Catholic beliefs, like there's generational trauma there, right? There's
Oh my God.
patriarchal
Yeah.
trauma. There's that, you're a second class citizen because you're a woman. I remember, so I was born in Naples. You were born in Milano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was born in Naples and we came to Canada when I was 5. But still, my parents, behaved as though we still lived in Italy. And I remember having to make my brother's bed when I was a
Oh my
kid.
God.
My brother did not make his bed. Why? Because he was a boy. He didn't have to make the bed. What the fuck is that? Right? So honestly, like this is the stuff that we're raised with, and it's generational, and
Yeah.
and it's in us, and we have to heal and evolve in order to not live from that perspective, because that's the natural perspective that we were given, and we have to break free. We have to break out of that box, right?
Yeah. 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 Totally. Oh my God. That thing of the bed, I had the same. I was like, why? Why? Is like on the sofa doing nothing. Why am
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
supposed to? I'm gonna do
I had
mine.
to do the dishes. I had to make his bed. It was crazy. Yeah.
I was like, you can do his. I do mine. If you want to do his, you do it. I'm not doing it. And that
Good
was
for
the reason
you.
for me to fight. I used to fight with my
You
mom,
fought, yeah.
and
I
it
didn't. I was the people pleaser. I just went along with it, and every once in a while I would explode, right? So it's like the put up, put up, put up, and then explode, right? Whereas
yeah.
you were stronger than me, and I
Oh
I, I
yeah,
bow
and
down.
that's
I
why
bow
my
down.
mom used to call me the rubber, because whatever she told me to do, I wasn't doing it.
You did the opposite.
And whenever she wanted me to do dishes or something, she was never happy with the way I was doing it, because she had
Mm,
to tell me how to do it.
yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
look, you want me to do it? I do it my way. If not, if you have to complain about it either way, well, I'm not doing it. At least you have
Good for
something to
you.
complain about it.
I
But
give
it
you
was,
snaps. I give you snaps. Yeah.
thank you. But it was so freaking challenging. And this is
Yeah.
why I feel so many people don't realize this is where you put in the box first. And then
Yeah.
now, whenever you come across situations in your life that put you back there, it's
Hmm.
normal,
Yeah.
because you've used to being put in the box, and
Yeah.
you've used to sacrifice yourself for a man, for example, or
Yeah. Yeah.
and do things for others and put your needs elsewhere, that it becomes something natural that you need to do. And that's why so many people
Yeah.
do it until, as you said, I got to a point where I couldn't handle it anymore,
Yeah.
and I had to break from this, and I
Yeah.
realized this was not my. So I think this is also why so many people are for this shit that is
Hmm.
happening. It's because it's the family, religious
Yeah.
circle that
Yeah.
provide this information that it's normal. You need to
Hmm.
sacrifice your body, you need to sacrifice your life,
Because
even
you're a
if,
woman. If
yeah,
you're a
you're a
woman
woman.
and you have ovaries and a uterus, and you have to give up your rights because you're here to populate the world, Yeah, that's what they think, right? It's
Yeah.
going back to Handmaid's Tale. I don't know if you watched that series on Netflix. So freaking scary. And it's like, there's women. One of my friends posted on LinkedIn. She goes, I think I'm just gonna bugger off the rest of the day and get fitted for my red dress and cap. Like she feels she's being part of the Handmaid's Tale, right? Being
Yeah.
told what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
scary,
Yeah.
so scary.
Yeah, yeah. And just
Oh,
like, I know nobody's watching now, but if you're watching this on replay and you have
yeah.
any comments, you want to tell us how you felt, how you feel, maybe it's not related to what's happening today. I thought this was a conversation that we can use. We're always getting triggers anyway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so tell us how you're feeling, what's going on, if you feel this conversation resonates with you, and if if you feel like you need help, you need to chat with someone.
Yeah.
I think we are
Reach
here
out.
for
Reach
this,
out.
for
Yeah.
this too. We have done so much work on ourselves, Elvira and I, and we will be happy to help you a little bit to move forward, because when you feel stuck and you feel powerless, it's a bad place to be.
It's not fun. It's a
It's
very low
not fun.
vibration. And the more you stay in that low vibration, guess what? You're going to attract more low vibration things to you. You become what I call a crap magnet. You're
Yeah,
in this low vibration of being stuck, and therefore you just keep attracting more things, more things, more things that are crappy. You see people stuck in these vortexes of low vibration where they just, their car died, and then their pet died, and then the husband left them, and then the mother's in the hospital. Like all these things happen because our vibration is everything. If we are in this low vibration stuck, we're not empowered. We don't see our power. We give our power away to others. We live in fear. We live in ego. Like that's being a crap magnet. And so my work is all about helping you to become a miracle magnet, because that's what I was able to do at the end of my 20-year very shiny looking corporate life on the outside, but the last 2 years were a total shit show, where I struggled with depression, anxiety, and panic disorder, which was fantastic because it was my triggers to get out of that inauthentic life to live my truth. But it had to happen when I hit a rock bottom moment of
right.
surrender, where I said, I can't do this anymore, to my higher power. Give me a way out of my hell. That's not drugs. That's not therapy. I needed it to be fast and natural. No disrespect to anyone that does drugs and therapy. It wasn't an option for me. But I was told, like I said, I asked for a way out that was fast and natural, or for a way of killing myself.
Right.
So I know that this way that came through me helped me to realize that God wasn't out. Just some of the concepts I'm going to share with you. God wasn't out there. God is in me. God is in you. This is why the Hindus bow and say namaste. This is when I separated from my Roman Catholicism, because I realized God's not just out there. God is in me. God is in you. And we are divine. And we have a divine purpose. And we're here to get out of our own effing way, fear and ego, and live in that purpose. And
Yeah.
when we do that, when we live in a high vibration, we become miracle magnets. Amazing things find us. I've literally achieved my virtual every dream come true, or it's about to come true. And I live with joy and grace and ease every day. And I lead, two amazing teams helping humanity to do this inner work, which is incredible. And I don't work a day in my life because I'm living in my purpose, right? So
Yeah.
this is what I want for all of us, right? And I know you're living in your purpose as well, Mara.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is why we're here to support those that are on their journeys. And so yeah, anything else you want to share about that?
Yeah, no, just to complete that, because I think that most of the people here are entrepreneurs. And for me, the job is about helping them to release the blockages,
Yeah.
emotional and mental and energetic, because that was my journey. Like the moment I started my business, oh my God, what came up?
Mm-hmm.
I was already working on myself a little bit before, because I was into
Mm-hmm.
self-development, but the true and big work was when I started to have my business, because
Yeah.
that's when you really realize everything is on you. You have the responsibility, you have this
Yeah.
dream, you really want to make it, you really want to help people, and then all of those things start to pop up,
Yeah.
and the money
Yeah.
mindset and the restriction and the
Yeah.
fear not to make it. And this is why I want to help people
I
release
love it.
that, because we are as you said, we're all here for a purpose,
Yeah.
where there are so many people doing so many great things, but a lot of them get to a point where you want to give up because maybe
Yeah.
you're not making enough money, because maybe you're not supported enough, maybe you
Yeah.
don't know where to turn around, because stopping from a corporate world and starting
Mm-hmm.
to have a business is no joke.
No,
You have to
you have to learn.
completely remove that kind of way of thinking and
Yeah.
personality and change it. Some people make it and some people have a hard time in the transition. And
Yeah.
then you start to make money, maybe something happens, you stop, and you have all of those beliefs and words that come to you. I'm not good enough, this is not
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm not going to be making. And I'm going to share a little bit of my story here, because in the last 3 or 4 days, something popped up for me, and I think it's the energy as well. We are in the new moon today,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there is a lot of work on the feminine energy and the wound, and releasing all of the things that are not serving us.
Yeah.
But this fear, I always had to deal with some fear of success along the way,
Mm.
but this now was coming to a point where I realized that the fear of success for me was, um, because when I was little, I couldn't really enjoy myself to the fullest. Like this thing that you couldn't use the toys too much because otherwise they will break.
Hmm.
And I remember they
Wow.
bought me this Barbie house, which I
Yeah.
love, but I didn't know how to put together. So they put it together for me for Christmas. I played it with it for a little while, and then they put it together in the box, and then I could never play with it anymore. And is that,
Wow.
you can never have that much joy. Like joy cannot be so
Right.
much. There is always like you can get a little, but then this thing is gonna
Wow.
break.
Right.
Don't run around because your dress is gonna
Yeah.
get dirty or things like this,
That
right?
was my mom. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started to dig into, I'm like, this is why. It's not, because it's not about someone telling me that I cannot elevate, that I cannot
Mm-hmm.
expand in my business and everything. Is this joy that needs to be contained, because otherwise it's too much,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that too much keeps coming back.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of work to release that. So in whichever way is
Yeah.
coming up for you, and I've spoken to a few people in the last few days, and everybody's been feeling things coming to the surface, things
Yeah.
popping up, and feeling a little bit lost. There are things that we need to release. We are
Yeah.
in this moment where we are being asked to rise up
Yeah.
and connect
Yeah.
to one another to elevate the vibration. So
Yeah.
whatever is popping up for you in those last few days, because you
Yeah.
got triggered for the news, or maybe you got triggered for something that happened in your life, look into that, because we're being asked to look at our wounds and all the things that we need to heal.
Yeah.
Because if we don't heal, we cannot get to the next step.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful, Mara. I love how you put it. It's so gorgeous. Yeah, and I recently, about 2 weekends ago, I did this very cool thing. So I believe in, not just one modality, right? Like my work is about bringing to everyone's modalities to the world, elevating not just my own. So I have a movement at this ground level that's doing exactly that. And one of the women that I met, and I feel like she's going to be a facilitator of my work and her work on my system, she did this dance, so sort of somatic release through dance. This woman is really cool. She's an LA actress, and she is also a dancer. And I used to be a dancer back in the day as well. And so she did this like 3 hour workshop, and she took us through this journey of like dancing, and she talked us through releasing, and taking up more space. And I didn't realize I had this childhood shame on me that was put on me when I was 13 years old, because I happened to be walking along the highway with a dear friend of mine, and we were wearing bikinis because we were suntanning, and we wanted to go grab like an ice pop at the store, and it was literally 2 steps away. But in those 2 steps, I first of all, we went onto the highway, and all these cars are honking at us, and I realized, oh my God, our bodies are powerful. Like we were in bikinis, 13 years old, fully developed, and our bodies are powerful. And it felt kind of good. Then all of a sudden, my father went by the other way, and he freaked out. He saw his daughter on the highway in a bikini, and he just took a, like, tore a strip off me, right? And the poor guy, he was trying to protect me. But as a child, the message I got was that my body is meant to be hidden, and my body is to be, contained, right, in that box, right? So what did that woman do two weekends ago? She helped me to release that. She helped me to take up more space. And as a result, part of my story is I became a professional jazz singer at 51 because I got out of my own effing way, fear and ego, and I became fully self-expressed. These are some of the things that I talk about. And as a result, I got on stage right after I did this thing, like, less than a week later. And I got on stage, and I have never been more comfortable on a stage because I was able to take up more space. And people were watching my performance, and some of them were crying. And I was like, okay, like, I know I've touched people's hearts when they're crying. And I know that I was being fully myself, taking up all the space I was meant to take up on that stage. And it's touching people's hearts. And so I had to get out of my shame. I had to release that layer of shame to take up more space in order to touch the hearts of the people I was meant to touch. And then the next day I got to speak on stage as well. And I have never felt more comfortable on a stage as I did that day. So it was a really cool festival. It was an arts and wellness festival. It's called Living with Wellness through VServe Canada. Shout out to them. And seriously, it was the most beautiful thing because I released that shame. I was able to up level. So I know you do it in your own beautiful way, Mara, with your colors and your other intuition. You're the intuition queen. So I just, and I do it in my way as well. I'm very intuitive as a coach. So I just love this conversation. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I love that too. I love that too. And I love that you talked about, changing your career at 51 and becoming, because one of the things that I always say is like, it doesn't matter your age. It's
Yeah.
never too late,
It's never too late. I'm the poster child for it's never too late. And
right?
I've sung for people like Oprah Winfrey's man. If you Google his name, Stedman Graham, and my name, you'll see me singing to him. Like, miracles have found me. I've been a miracle magnet because of where I vibrate in alignment with who I
And
truly
that's
am.
how we met as well, because like I had this program in mind, the Strength Amplifier, which is a few sessions to help you really understand yourself and how you work energetically, emotionally, so you can really go in your business. And I had it from last summer.
Yeah.
But it wasn't right because I was doing healing on myself because, the situation with my mom here was really terrible. And I just didn't have the energy. I couldn't put myself out there. I didn't feel I was worthy enough. So I did the whole healing process with my healer for about 4 months. And then I was like, okay, so it's the new year. I need to start going out with this program. So I need to get people to try this for me. And there you go. Ryan messages me, and there was a program with him and my ex-coach, which was a 30-day thing to build momentum on your goal. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I need that vibe, high vibe energy, because I love my ex-coach. I love Ryan. It's always so nice when I'm with them. We did this, and then I message him and I'm like, look, this is what's happening to me. This is what I need. Can you help me? And that's where we started. He helped me with finding the right people to go through my program. And then he started to go, you need to meet Mara, you need to meet Mara, you need to meet Mara. And I started to get messages from those people like, I talked to Ryan and I need to connect. He told me I need to connect with you. I talked to Ryan. And that's how we met. And this is because I decided to be intentional. I wanted to snap out all of the heaviness that I felt last year, and was like, okay, and I need to share, and I need to be out there. And that's how we met, and we started chatting, and it was an instant.
It was so
2
easy.
seconds was so quick.
And I said, we need to do a show. We need to do a show. And this is what this came about.
Exactly. But, because we all had done pieces of our healing, and I don't think we would have met otherwise. I don't think Ryan would have suggested you to connect with me if you had met him last year.
Yeah.
It was
absolutely
the right time. And I was praying, like, I was like, universe, please allow me to find like-minded people, either here in person, but I don't think Italy is the right place for me now, I understand, or online, because I already have a presence there, and probably that's where I need to be, because I need to kind of go around.
Yeah.
and
The world
and
is our oyster now. Yeah.
exactly, and
Yeah.
people started to come, and that's not to say that I don't have my moments. There are
Yeah.
moments, but I always look at, okay, so this is happening, I need to release something else.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
this little pieces. So this is just for all of you that are watching and listening. If
Yeah.
you're watching the
Yeah.
replay, what wherever you are, maybe you are feeling high vibe today, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're feeling super low vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Feel whatever it is that you're feeling, try to figure out what
Yeah.
fear is that, what is it that you're not seeing,
Yeah.
what do you need to heal, what do you need to figure out. There is so much information in what we're feeling,
Yeah.
and that then you can take the next step to bring you back up.
Right, exactly. And one question you can also ask yourself is, if you have ever been like me, a victim in the past, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? That was my old thinking. But if you can ask yourself a better question, how is this happening for me?
Right,
Put that
yeah,
into your mind. No matter what's going on, how is this happening for me? If you're having an argument with your spouse, how is this happening for me? Well, maybe I'm going to have better communication with my spouse, because I'm going to choose to take my power back from my spouse, and we're either going to elevate or we're going to separate, right? Elevate or separate. Or at work, why is this happening to me at work? Well, maybe you're not meant to do this job anymore. Maybe you're meant to leave and do something else. And most people here are entrepreneurs, So why am I struggling finding clients? Well, how is this happening for me? Who do I need to become so I can become more of a miracle magnet, a more of a money magnet, right? So asking yourself the right questions gets you better answers.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
If you've not done any healing, well, then the suggestion there's
Yeah.
you need to do a little bit of
There's
inner work.
healing. Yes.
And I'm sorry to break it to you. I know some people are like, yeah, I don't need that, but you do.
You do. You do.
You
And that's
do.
why businesses fall apart, because people don't do their inner work and their ego runs the show. Well, when people do the inner work and their higher self runs the show, guess what? They do better. They make more
Exactly.
money.
Yeah.
They are happier.
Yeah.
Their relationships are better, right? They become miracle magnets. This is what I've
Exactly.
experienced, and my clients have experienced too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Because everything shifts. You're no longer controlled by someone's being upset, or
Yes.
someone telling you what to do, or a situation where maybe you're not making money, but instead of having that fear that it's like on your stomach, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, there is something I need to do. Okay, something is gonna happen. I just need to
Yeah.
surrender. The surrender
Yeah.
part, it's the most difficult, but it's all part of the process. When you can surrender,
Yeah.
even if your situation is not where you want it to be and might be
Yeah.
just on the edge, but you can surrender, you have peace and you trust,
Yeah.
things are gonna shift.
Yeah.
To get to that point, healing, it's necessary.
Yes, yes. Amen. Amen, sister. Oh my gosh. This has
All
been
right.
such a beautiful
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So I see there is one person watching, and I don't know if
Okay.
this person wants to say something. I'm gonna give it a couple of seconds to maybe just say hi
Yeah,
or
any
comment.
questions? Yeah.
Questions, you can just drop it there. We can answer to you later on. Just tag us, especially not me because I can see the notification. But if you want to talk to, or if you
Tag
want to
me.
give a
Yeah.
question to Elvira, you need to tag her so she can actually see it. Otherwise, I'll tag you after.
Awesome.
But
Awesome. Thank
yeah,
you.
this was amazing. I love
Oh,
doing this so
I
much.
love this. I knew it'd be so much fun with you, Mara, because when it's effortless, you're in alignment. You're
Yeah,
with the people that you're meant to collaborate with, co-create with. In my world, there's no such thing as competition. There's only collaboration and
yeah,
co-creation.
yeah.
And we're
Same.
doing this at the highest level globally with Team Manifest, our beautiful group where we're helping to, create these 11 beautiful global retreat centers, serving the top 1%. And we're doing it here with this show. Whoever's meant to be served by us will come across this video. And yeah, please leave your comments and let us know
Yeah.
how, if we can serve you further.
Exactly. And any questions, we're here. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. I always say to my clients when I work on do workshops, the reason why I want you to share, it's because someone might feel the same way.
Yeah.
And when you know that someone else feels the same way, might have a similar story to you, you don't
Yes.
feel that alone. Because we
Yes.
always think that what's happening to us is only happening to us, is not
Mm,
happening to someone else. And that's
no.
not true. We have so many things in common, so
Yeah.
many blockages and repressed emotions coming from a similar situation, that the
Yep.
more we share, the more we can actually let it out and then raise
Yeah.
the vibrations. So
Oh,
whatever
I
comes
love how you
to us.
speak. Sharing is caring. And the more we're in community and sharing our truth, it helps others feel less alone. And it gives them what I like to call hits: hope, inspiration, and tools that they can do it too.
Yeah,
So we're here to share our stories vulnerably with others so that we can all up level together, because this is
exactly.
what humanity is all about. That's the only way we're going to turn things around with the patriarchy, is when enough people get conscious, and we're talking women and men,
Yeah,
enough people get conscious so we can shift humanity. And all it takes is 3% of the planet to get conscious, where it's going to totally shift humanity.
yeah,
That just gives me
exactly.
chills. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are there.
Amazing.
And
Yay.
whatever questions, just send it over.
Yeah.
Before we wrap this up, I just want to say that I decided that I'm going to do a new moon carpool, because there is so
Oh,
much to
nice.
talk about in relation to the energy that is going
Okay.
on and what I mentioned. So in about an hour and a half, I'm going to be
Okay.
back. So
Yay.
join me.
All right. Thank you,
All
Mara.
right.
This was a
Thank
great
you
show,
so much,
number two.
Elvira. Number
Mwah.
2, see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.